Fear does not appear at first, routine does. An order moves down the line, clear, familiar. Fire. A cannon explodes. Heat spreads, the ground jumps. Smoke rolls outward, thick and choking. For a moment, the world disappears. This is normal. This is how battles begin. The ending feels known. The shot hits the ship. A pause follows. Wood should break. Sails should tear. Men should fall. But when the smoke thins, the shape remains. Whole, unchanged. The ship keeps moving. Slow, heavy, deliberate. A nervous laugh escapes somewhere. A curse follows. Reload. Fire again. This time, the impact is clear. The ball strikes the hull and skips away. Not shattered, not absorbed, rejected. The sound lingers. Not a crack, not a scream, a flat, dead sound, like iron meeting a wall that should not exist. Fire again. Another hit, another useless strike. The ship does not hurry, does not turn, does not answer. It keeps coming. Small changes begin to stand out. Officers stop shouting. Counting slows. No voice says, "Good hit," anymore. No hit feels good now. The cannon remains loud. Violent. Impressive. But the noise feels hollow, like sound lost in fog. Doubt settles in. Not panic, not yet. Just a quiet question. If this ship can ignore the guns, what else can do the same? Stone walls stand behind the batteries. Thick, built to last generations. Protection was their purpose. Trust was placed in them. Everyone shared it. But now, the walls feel old, not weak. Irrelevant. Another shot is fired anyway, because action continues when sense fails. The ship draws closer, untouched, calm, and the thought grows heavier. This ship is not winning. It is not destroying anything. It is doing something worse. It proves that the world still exists, but no longer decides what happens. An uncomfortable realization takes shape. If weapons can stop working without breaking, power does not vanish. Power moves, and its new location is unclear. Nothing happens right away. No explosion, no collapse, no victory. The ship turns slowly, not retreating, not advancing. Just there. The silence becomes noticeable. Men lean on their guns. Hands stay busy without purpose. Eyes remain fixed on the horizon. Everyone waits for the next order. It never comes. The ship drifts with the tide. Smoke clears completely. That is when something feels wrong. The ship does not behave like an enemy. No charge, no return fire. Only observation. Days pass, more ships appear. Not many. Only enough. They remain offshore. Out of reach. Without urgency. The port stays open. The city remains untouched, and still, the ships do not leave. Every morning looks the same. Same position. Same distance. Same silence. The same questions circulate in low voices. Why no attack? Why no withdrawal? Someone suggests waiting. Waiting for what remains unclear. The walls still stand. The guns stay loaded. Protection should exist. It does not feel present. Something is known now that was not known before. If those ships chose to move closer, nothing could stop them. If incoming fire were to be ignored, that had already been proven possible. Thoughts begin to drift. What if more ships arrive? What if darkness hides the approach? What if every fleet looks this way tomorrow? The danger is not in action. The danger lies in what is imagined, while nothing happens. Across the sea, other ports observe the same scene. Officers stare at drawings spread across tables. Ships that appear proud, Ships that appear strong. Ships that now feel outdated. Paper is folded. Lines are redrawn thicker than before. Not because of battle. Not because of defeat. Because one ship refused to follow old rules. No war is declared. No victory is claimed. But something spreads quietly from port to port. A shared unease. A sense that the next war will not resemble the last, and when it arrives, some will be ready, others will be confident. And confidence for the first time feels like a weakness, waiting for the next war. The sea remains quiet. Too quiet. No shots, no signals, no movement that matters. Calm no longer feels real. In distant cities, lamps burn late into the night. Doors remain closed, maps stay open. Hands trace coastlines again and again. Not to plan an attack, to imagine one. Shipyards come alive. Hammers strike metal from sunrise to dark. Frames rise thicker than before. Plates are bolted where wood was once trusted. No explanation is spoken aloud. None is needed. Old ships still float. Still look impressive. Still carry flags and guns. But they feel exposed now, like soldiers wearing uniforms from another century. Admirals stop speaking about bravery. Distance becomes the topic. Angles, armor. The same question appears in different languages. What if the guns no longer matter? No answer appears. Preparation continues. More iron. More weight. More silence. The next war exists everywhere. In budgets. In rumors. In half-finished hulls resting in dry docks. But never at sea. Because no one wants to move first. No one wants to test old ships against new ones. No one wants to discover, in public, that power has expired. Fleets remain in port. Cannons stay clean. Crews drill without purpose. Everything is ready. Nothing moves. The world holds its breath. Not because peace feels strong, because uncertainty feels dangerous. And during that waiting, something shifts. War stops being an event. It becomes a calculation, a risk, a fear of learning the truth too late. The sea stays empty. But the next war has already begun, just not where anyone can see it yet. By now, the feeling has changed. Surprise has faded. Recognition takes its place. This feeling has appeared before, even without a name. Different ships, different places, different uniforms. The same pause, the same silence after the shot. Iron ships remain offshore. Quiet, heavy. But what lingers is not the metal. It is the moment after things stop working. When no one panics. When no one runs. When movement pauses and hesitation fills the space. That hesitation has appeared before. In another place. Another time. In Mosul, it did not begin with collapse either. It began with confidence. Maps looked clean. Lines were straight. Plans made sense. Units advanced as expected. Until the city pushed back. Not with one decisive blow. Not with a single enemy. With corners, with stairwells, with rooms that refused to behave like open ground. Shots were fired, positions were taken, and still, nothing felt finished. Orders went in. Confusion came out. Not from weakness, from mismatch. Cannons expected wood, walls expected protection. Different war. Same moment. That brief second when action continues. But the situation stops responding. And the worst part arrives quietly. Everything still looks normal. Ships remain intact. The city still stands. Weapons still fire. So movement continues. Stopping would mean admitting that understanding is gone. That is when tension settles in. Not loud, not dramatic, heavy. Like standing on ground that feels solid, but no longer feels safe. The signs appear everywhere. Certain words disappear, plans grow longer. Talk of quick victories fades. Quick victories belong to a world where systems still work. And slowly, quietly, adjustment begins. Not through sudden change, through pretending nothing is wrong. While preparing for something worse. If this feels familiar, it is not coincidence. These moments have appeared before. Moments when history does not turn with a bang. It drifts. And if this episode pulls that feeling forward, there are others, other places, other times. Cities like Mosul. Stories where power entered a space it believed it understood and discovered it did not. Same channel, same kind of moment. Not battles, not victories. Just that uneasy stretch of time when something stops working and no one knows yet what comes next. Nothing begins. No warning shots, no flags raised, no sudden movement at sea. The horizon remains empty. Days pass. Ships rest at anchor, rocking gently. Crews walk the decks with nothing to do. The same drills repeat, again and again. Everything is ready. Nothing moves. The war discussed for years never arrives. At first, the absence feels like relief. Then it feels strange. Peace usually has a sound. Laughter. Trade. Careless movement. This peace is quiet. Heavy. The old ships are still there. Large. Proud. But they are seen differently now. Not with confidence. With doubt. The change appears in small details. Inspections take longer. Orders are checked twice. Sailing alone feels risky. Because if something happens out there, certainty no longer exists. The iron ships do not chase. They do not threaten. They simply exist. And that is enough. Ports remain active, but joy is absent. New hulls rise slowly. Thicker, heavier. Built in silence. No speeches, no celebrations. Only the sound of metal being shaped for a future no one wants to rush into. The sea stays calm. But calm no longer means safe. It means waiting. Waiting to see who moves first. Waiting to see who guessed wrong. The war never comes. Trust does not return either. The old certainty disappears. The feeling that endings were predictable. Now every ship leaving port feels like a question. Every decision feels like a risk. And slowly, without a single battle, the world changes. Not through destruction. Through disbelief that the old way is still enough. The war that never happened still leaves a mark. Not in wrecks, not in graves, but in how movement changes from that moment on. Careful, quiet, always slightly unsure, and that uncertainty remains.